Donald Trump doesn't just want to cut your taxes, he wants to eliminate the IRS completely. And in its place, he wants to a bold new system called the ERX, called the External Revenue Service, funded not by your paycheck, but by foreign imports using tariffs. Now, it sounds simple enough, but the truth is a little bit more complicated. And so here are 10 things you need to know about Trump's overall plan. Hey, if you're new to the channel, my name is Sharran Srivatsaa. I was a banker at Goldman Sachs and at Credit Suisse on Wall Street. And after that, I have helped build and sell over 5 businesses. And I also helped run a public company on the NASDAQ. So this is second nature for me. I have nothing to sell you, and I'm just sharing my personal views and lessons with you. So let's break down this big idea, which is the big 10-point plan on why Trump wants to eliminate the IRS. And I broke it down into a 10-point format for you. So let's actually get to point number 1, which is Trump's big tax idea. Trump wants to end income taxes and fund the government using tariffs instead. So imagine not paying taxes on your paycheck, but paying 40% more every time you go to Target or Walmart or McDonald's or Subway. It's not really a tax cut. It may probably be a tax swap, which is why point number 2 is really important. I want you to meet the ERS. The ERS is the External Revenue Service. And what Trump is proposing is a brand new agency called the External Revenue Service. Think of it like this. Say you're in school and you're firing your old school principal and then just replacing them with someone who grades you based on what snacks you buy at the vending machine. Now, it works, but there is a shift. And the shift is from taxing what you earn to taxing what you consume, which makes us to point number 3, which is this $4.5 trillion reasons. The IRS collects $4.5 trillion a year, meaning the IRS brings in $4.5 trillion into the US government to manage the budget. This is the biggest piggy bank in America. Now, if you have to shut something like this down, you probably need another one just as big, or the whole system just starts to break. Now, what do the tariffs do? And that is a point number 4. Tariffs only bring in about $80 billion today. That's today. And I know there's a lot of tariff changes out there, which means this. Let's say you need $100 for rent, but you only have $2. Well, that's the gap. That's the gap in this process. So to close that gap, we need to 50 times tariffs. We need tariffs to be 50 times higher than they are today. Now, that's not just unlikely, but it probably is a fast track to a global trade war, which we're already seeing starting to happen right now, right? Which brings us to point number 5 is this back to what we were doing in the 1890s? Now, Trump says, hey, we used to do this, and he's right. He's 100% right. In the 1890s, America was actually funded by tariffs. But here's one important thing. Back then, we actually made everything at home. But now we import over $3 trillion worth of goods. It may be hard to run a 2025 economy on a 19th century tax plan. And that's the struggle that we're all thinking about. So how real is this? Is this a law? Or is this just talk and propaganda based on a stump speech? Actually, there is a real bill in Congress right now to eliminate the IRS, and it's called the Fair Tax Act. It's like kind of saying no more homework while running for class president. Yeah, it sounds good, but honestly, it probably won't happen because you need an insane amount of bipartisan support for that. So the big question is, in point number 7, is who really pays for all of this? And that's important to see because the math has to math at some point. So with income tax, you see it in your paycheck, right? You see it deducted in your paycheck. But with tariffs, you feel it at the checkout line, at Walmart, at Chipotle, at McDonald's, at Target. A $50 pair of shoes suddenly costs $70, which is what all the headlines are about right now. It's the same money, just a different pain point that we probably have to get used to. Now, the big question in all of this is, but number 8, what happens to inflation? Some say tariffs cause prices to rise, and others say they don't, and both are right, because in 2018, after Trump's steel tariffs, prices actually went down for a while. So bottom line is, I'm sorry, we just don't know. Just maybe not yet, and we have to kind of figure that out, which leads us to point number 9, is shrinking the IRS really a thing? Trump has already cut 7,000 jobs at the IRS. So he is gung-ho on this idea. But here's the thing. If you cut one agency, the IRS, and then you build a new one called the ERS to replace it, are you really shrinking the government? Maybe, maybe not. Or just changing the name on the door. Maybe if it's better, but it doesn't look like the maths. Which brings us to point number 10. What is actually likely? What is the most likely outcome in all of this? Taxes go down for some people making $150,000 a year, probably. Tariffs go up, which we are already seeing happen. The IRS doesn't disappear because that system still exists. It may get smaller, change the way it operates, but it may get smaller. This is more of a long-term revolution and less of a slow rewrite in this process. So this honestly isn't about taking sides. It's just about understanding the stakes. That's why I wanted to make a 10-point process on this. Whether you support it or not, one thing is ultra clear. The way we tax, who we tax, and how this process works may never, ever look the same again. So I want to leave you with this. A lot of people will talk about, especially society, will tell us this thing, which is, money doesn't buy happiness. Well, I will tell you this. I know a lot of people, if they increase their income, they could live a more comfortable life, send their kids to college, and have a more convenient, logistically free life. So I want to leave you with these 6 words, which I think about a lot, which is number 1, work hard, be kind, and make more money. Catch you on the next one.